Yes, sir. Are we live? Are we live? Are we live? There we go. We're live. There. Fantastico. Okay. What's up, fam? It's an absolute pleasure to host you here on this new channel called Limitless Crypto. Okay, we're gonna have some fun today. We're gonna talk about Bitcoin. Is it time to pack up your bags to sell everything you have, or are there also some really good potential trade opportunities right now? Up, down, left, and right. We will find out in a second here. First of all, if you're just watching and tuning in, make sure you smash up that like button here. Any like now helps tremendously with growing the channel and potentially attracting more new individuals to this crypto department, okay, of the Limitless Trading Academy here. Hope you guys are doing well here. We're gonna start in a second. Yes, thank you very much, my man. My hand is doing absolutely amazing. We are looking at the VIP chat as well of our crypto. Let's see if we can have that in. Okay, I'm in already. Fantastic. This is also set. I see Trader Tim is in there. Beautiful, guys. Okay. If you're here right now, press a 1 in the chat. It's gonna be absolutely fun. We're gonna talk about Bitcoin. We're gonna talk about the forecasts. We're gonna talk about the FUD. We're gonna talk about also some very nice trading or potential trading setups that we might be experiencing and seeing right now, right here. Okay. I also want to do a quick big shout out to everyone in the crypto VIP. You guys have been absolutely crushing it, and of course, as always, a special shout out to the myth. Okay, it's almost turning into a myth, a legend, Trader Tim. All right. As always, it's an absolute pleasure to have him in the community, providing you guys with tremendous amount of setups on a day-to-day basis, including these signals that he's constantly pumping out. It just doesn't stop. It just doesn't stop. Okay, Terminator Tim is on an absolute rampage. Look at everyone is winning. Render, massive trade on Render right now. Congratulations, man. It's great to see. Pavel, you took it as well. That's good. I see Marton. He took the Render trade as well. Incredible. Who else took the Render trade? Frank, the OG of the Limitless Trading Academy, Frank Christensen, took this trade. Oh man, this is what we're doing here. Okay, so if you're interested in joining the crypto VIP, then what you need to do is you go to this link right here. You sign up for the Bitget exchange right here. Okay, you deposit $100 on your Bitget account, you register, you sign up for your deposit bonus up to $8,000, up to what, $500 or $1,000, something like that deposit. You get it sorted, you have an account, then you fill in that information in our Discord, and we grant you access to Tim's Signal channel, which have been proven to be profitable right now over the last months, and everything is tracked. Everything is tracked, so everything right there is proven. So there is nothing you can say or do. The only thing that you can do is to join us and make some money. With that said, okay, let's dive and continue here with Bitcoin, because we have seen a major amount of liquidations happening here. Okay, we're talking $800 million of liquidations at 40.6K. A lot of liquidation, a lot of people got wrecked. Over the last 24 hours, we saw a total of $250 million of liquidations, okay? That's nothing these days. That's absolutely nothing these days. The volume is coming back into the market, so are, you could say, the liquidations. The liquidations are going up tremendously right now at this particular moment, okay? So, with that said, we've seen the liquidation. We're going to talk about all the price levels that we need to look at, which are key levels for Bitcoin right now. Key levels that we need to hold, because if you don't hold these key levels, we might be crashing down a little bit further. But we're not here to predict, we're here to anticipate, and that's what we're going to do today. So without further ado, let's also look at the funding rates. Okay, the funding rates are key. And the reason why the funding rates are important here is that we have to understand that whenever somebody, you know, is over leveraged, you know, the money has to come from somewhere, okay? Obviously, people are getting liquidated, but these exchanges are making tons and tons of money off of these fees, okay? And these fees are usually generated on a day-to-day basis. And what tends to happen in futures when you trade leverage, you know, these fees are paid and spread amongst multiple times a day, sometimes up to 3 or 4 times a day, that you pay a minority of fees that you don't really notice, but you do pay them, okay? And these funding rates here show you who is paying who, okay? So sometimes based upon the leverage ratio, the longers are paying the shorters, sometimes the shorters are paying the longers. Right now, we have seen a really nice, good, solid reset. So it's not as extremely over leveraged to the upside, where the longers, you know, pay a significant fee. Therefore, this is looking quite healthy so far, okay? Liquidations right now have been taken out tremendously already. The majority of liquidity that's built up right now is above the 42.5K. So we're ranging from the 42.6 roughly towards the 43. This is now where the majority of liquidity is at here, okay? So once we're continuing, we also want to do the same thing over and over again. We want to do our daily analysis here. And we talked about it in the last stream. Not much has changed, because we are still looking at all of these CME gaps that we've been talking about previously, okay? Whenever the market opens up on a Monday, it shoots up right away. For example, you know, the CME, the futures is close to the weekend. So therefore, when the crypto market continues during the weekend, the CME is closed, right? Therefore, creating a gap. We see one right here between the 39.5 and between the 40.3. We have seen one right now, right here between the 42 and the 42.3, like a small one. And then we have another one between the 44.3 and between the 44.8. Okay. What tends to be happening is that these CME gaps are, you know, usually pools of liquidity. We get drawn towards these particular zones here. And what we said was that I was actually looking for price to push back down towards the 39.6K, roughly towards that high here, which caused then a complete gap fill, which then would make more sense here. However, there are also a couple other charts that we can look at if we're actually going to come down here before we continue the process towards the upside. However, the good thing about this though is that these gaps are usually the areas where the best trading opportunities come from, okay? Not just from trading the CME on Bitcoin, but also altcoins. And this is something that we can talk about here in a second here. Now, let's dive into the next chart, because I think this is absolutely super important to look at. And that is the tether dominance, okay? Because if the tether dominance goes up, then usually this will have a negative impact on, let's say, the Bitcoin chart. For example, if you would invert this scale here, right here, you see the tether dominance being inverted. And you see the Bitcoin chart, that looks quite similar, right? So it's actually kind of an inverted correlation here. So what we need to look at is what the potential projections are, or the key levels are of the tether dominance, for us to move further and to make trading or more calculated, let's say, trading decisions, okay? So in this case right here, we saw a very clean range, a very clean compression right here, okay? We had that compression and we had that breakthrough moment. That was the key moment. That was actually a really solid, strong expansion for Bitcoin. This was roughly around the 2nd of December, right here, okay? And this is where we started to rally all the way up towards the 45K for Bitcoin. So that means that we roughly came up around, what, 15% or something like that? Yeah, roughly around, 12.5% to the upside right here, due to the fact that we saw that breakdown happening here. So the moment we started to break this level, okay, on the tether dominance here, that was the moment when eventually Bitcoin started to break to the upside, where we saw a massive move to the upside right here, okay? So now we are at a stage where we have to look at that exact breakout moment, because now it gets interesting, okay? Look at the last high that created that breakthrough moment, okay? What was the last high? Well, let's zoom in a little bit, because it makes a little bit more sense here. Look at this high right here. Okay, we're talking about this particular zone right here. Okay, this is that last high around the 6.27% for Bitcoin that you can see right there. Okay, that is a key level. And the reason why this is a key level is because if you look at this high, wasn't this the last high that was created before we broke through that major range? Okay, before we broke out of that compression that we have been talking about right here. Okay, so if we draw that high right here, let's use this high and let's draw on right now the Fibonacci from that particular high all the way down towards the last low at 5.57%. And look at where we're at right now. Okay, we are now, and this is an important moment for Bitcoin, also for the Tether dominance. Okay, where you see that this particular range right here between the 70.5 and 79%, that's like the golden zone. We call that the golden pocket, the golden zone right here. Okay, 70.5, 79% rejection from the Tether dominance. Okay, so that's interesting. We have been seeing a really strong rejection from that particular range. We tapped into it multiple times. We took out these highs right here. We swiped the previous highs. And we now broke, and this is where it gets interesting for Bitcoin. This is where we broke these internal lows. Okay. So at this particular moment, we now tapped into that zone. We tapped and we broke a low. And now we're pushing back up towards this high internally that broke this low right here. So if you take this to the 15-minute, okay, or the 30-minute, I think, let's see which one is better, whatever. It doesn't really matter. Okay, then the question is this time as well, which high took out which low, right? And if you look on the 30-minute, we see this particular level to look at right here, and that's around the 6.055%. So what I want to see now is how are we going to react based upon the 6.05% for the Tether. Are we going to look weak? If that's the case, are we going to come down? If that's the case, then Bitcoin might be having created just now the lows that we needed, which was just a swipe of these lows here to come up, to shoot up, and therefore creating a massive expansion here. At the same time, look at the amount of liquidity that has been left over also to the upside for Bitcoin right here. Okay, usually what we tend to see is if we make an aggressive move down for Bitcoin, Bitcoin tends to manipulate to one direction to then turn around and flip. In this case, we just saw serious weakness coming down, creating a lower low, lower high, and now trying to hold on here, but at the same time, not taking out any of these highs here. So it usually tends to happen when you see, strong manipulation. Okay, we call this trap city. Bitcoin is the king of manipulation and liquidating people and new traders and putting them in the wrong direction and making sure that as many people think that we're going to go one direction to then flip and turn around and go into the other direction. So for that particular reason, look at what we have been building here. And if we truly were supposed to come down aggressively, I would have loved to see this happening first, where we take out the highs and then flip and turn around here. So I would not be surprised, guys, if right now, based upon the Tether dominance here, and if we are seeing a rejection, okay, we're creating some sort of head and shoulders formation right here, pulling back into the 70.5, 79%, that Bitcoin actually will try to particularly push to the upside right here, okay? So what we need to look at right now is how do we react towards the lows for Bitcoin? And we're seeing already a very important zone, which is now at the 41,135, okay? Down to the 40,900. And how are we going to react right now? Right here at this particular range, okay? So again, we have that lower low. We now have a higher high. Now we're looking particularly at an opportunity for us where we could see a higher low formation. If we see a higher low, is that then enough for us to hold here to then go for all that liquidity to the upside? Well, I'm not 100% sure. So let's fine tune this and let's find more information, okay? There are a couple more charts we need to look at. Number one is the following chart here. We have the Bitcoin USD shorts chart, okay? We call this the BTC USD shorts by Bitfinex. That's one. Then we have the Bitcoin USD long chart as well here, okay? What is this telling us? Well, this is practically the open interest. This is what shows us how many longs and how many shorts are currently getting activated, okay? And what we're currently seeing is that the longs are increasing. The longs are coming up. We're seeing a big accumulation zone, you could say. And it seems that after a massive downwards momentum here, okay, the interest for longs is coming back. Usually what tends to happen when people get liquidated, though, the interest of longs is coming back first. So we need to see first more interest of new long opportunities here. So we're building even more liquidity to the downside, right? More long liquidity to then eventually start coming down, aggressively take out these longs, liquidating all these longs right here. So what I see now is more of a build-up of more longers, okay? Now compare this to the short, okay? The shorts have also been coming up. However, the difference between the longers and the shorters was that we have seen a massive reaction already here happening right now. And we're actually at this particular moment now seeing a really nice rejection here at the 531, okay? And if you're questioning yourself, like, are these levels accurate? Well, yeah, these levels are working, we're working flawlessly, okay? So I always look at, what are levels where more longers and more shorters will get into the market and will enter the market here. Well, in this case, I know that this could be a very interesting level to keep a close eye on it. But the most important level I'm looking at is the 430, okay? If we start breaking this particular low, I do think that there is more downside potential. Therefore, more people will close down their shorts. And therefore, if we then continue the momentum here for longs to the upside, I think that there is much more interest or much more long interest, and therefore, much more confirmation that this will actually be a rejection point for the Tether dominance, and therefore the Bitcoin could potentially shoot up in a very, very short term here. Now, when looking at the information that we need to see is also one more chart, and this is what we call the Bitcoin volatility index. Because when you're in trades and when you're in trading, opportunities, what you don't want is you don't want to be stuck in your position for a while, because this is Bitcoin, this is crypto. And the thing about crypto right now at this particular moment is that sometimes you have a lot of volume and sometimes there is no volume, right? And the annoying part of being in a position is being in a position when there is no volume. And that's what you don't want, because you pay fees. You don't really notice it, but you do pay fees. So you don't want to be stuck in positions whenever you don't need to be stuck in your positions here. So the Bitcoin historical volatility index is a nice chart to prohibit you from being stuck in these positions for no reason, okay? And this is where it gets interesting. So market structure, right? We created a lower low, we took out the lows, we created a massive high, and now we came back towards the lows. The moment we came back towards the lows, we are now looking at internal structure, and now we're breaking highs. So what does it tell me? Well, that tells me practically that within no time, could be a couple hours, it could be early tomorrow, but within, in my opinion, a couple hours from now, we will probably see much more volume coming into the markets right here, right now. So everything is telling us that we might see a bigger move for Bitcoin coming within the next coming hours ahead of us here. So wouldn't that be perfect? Wouldn't it be perfect to then look for the right setups into the markets, right setups here to directly benefit from the volatility that's coming along here our direction, okay? That's what we want to be. If we had the decision, if we had the choice to go with a boat to the Bahamas or with a plane, then 99% chance that you would choose the plane and not the boat, right? That's kind of what I'm looking at. I'd rather take a plane than a boat. I'm rather in a private jet than I am flying commercial, because it's just easier to get along, to get on board, and to join the ride and to be at your location, okay? So therefore, the Bitcoin volatility index. Now, we have been looking at this level right now for Bitcoin at 41,146. Now, it's very important to see how we react once we here, because if we are coming towards that level and we're seeing a bounce here, and the tether dominance, one more time, let's open it on the chart as well on both sides. The tether dominance on the 30-minute is now coming towards this level right here, okay? Then we might have a rejection here and a bounce here. And that means that we could start looking for long opportunities in the market. And which now opportunities I'm personally looking at? Well, there is one I like, okay? And that is some altcoins, actually. And the reason why I like to trade some altcoins here is because if we go towards the following chart, okay? So many charts, so many charts. Look at what we're seeing right now, okay? At this particular moment, we have a beautiful range here on the Bitcoin dominance, okay? We call this the Bitcoin dominance chart. It shows you the amount of, dominance Bitcoin has, throughout the whole cryptocurrency market. So in this case, 53.4%, right? That's now the total market dominance of Bitcoin against the total market here. So you have that range. We created that low, we pulled back, we created that low here, we built a bunch of liquidity, whatever you want to call it. You push up, you break out, you come back into the range, and we're seeing a rejection, okay? So right now, Bitcoin is getting rejected, or the Bitcoin dominance is getting rejected right here at 53.5%. So if we start to stay below this level here, more opportunities will be find in my opinion, altcoins, okay? So what altcoins are we looking at? Well, there are two altcoins that I'm looking at that have been performing very well and have been actually outperforming most of these other cryptos when the Bitcoin price came down. And that is AVAX, okay? AVAX is one of them. Now, I do think that we have a really nice trading opportunity here for AVAX in the very short term. The other one is Solana, okay? So AVAX and Solana are the two main, currencies, main cryptos right now that I'm looking at. And the reason why, let me talk about why here, is because we saw this low taking out the previous lows right here, causing to rally. Okay, so we saw a lower rally. Then we saw a pullback tapping into this particular range, okay, creating a fantastic high. So eventually right here, I really do like the structure. So if we draw the Fibonacci from this swing low right here towards this swing high, we came once again, and we call this again our golden ratio, our golden zone, 70.5, 79%, back towards this zone, okay? Beautiful, beautiful expansion, looking absolutely flawless, looking fantastic. AVAX is actually holding very strong. It's actually holding stronger right now than Bitcoin, for example. So that's just an example that you can look at here, where Bitcoin is coming down here. AVAX is actually holding up stronger than Bitcoin. So this is quite interesting to look at. Now, let's go a little bit deeper, because what could be a nice trade opportunity here for AVAX? Well, what I'm looking at right now is the internal structure again, okay? So personally, what I would love to see is the following. I would love to see this high getting taken out. And the reason why is because if we take out this high, then I'm like, okay, this is probably the high that created that low here. We do have this high in between. We have taken out this high. So if we are coming down, I am willing to potentially look for a long setup, a long trade for AVAX right here at around $38.73, okay? And then I will put my stop loss, let's see, somewhat around that level. Then I will put my stop loss below that last wick or below that major zone from that bigger range, okay? So we're talking about this low towards this high, this particular retest, holding up here, putting my stop loss below that zone just to be safe. And then I will target the highs of this particular range right here. So that means a potential entry at 38.278 for AVAX. Stop loss at 35.650. And my take profit at 45 bucks. So that could be a nice trade opportunity, especially if the Tether dominance indeed decide to come up and get rejected here and to then come down here. Because what are reasonable levels to look at for the Tether dominance? Well, look at what we have been building here, okay? Look at this overall trend and the way we have been not taking out these previous lows right here, okay? This smells to me like we're looking to take this out. And we're looking to come back down further, to at least come down to start swiping some of these lows after that rejection, to then maybe start thinking about a move to the upside again, okay? So that could be something absolutely interesting here. So I remain for now in the short-term bullish for Bitcoin. And I think that based upon that information, I think some of these altcoins are even more interesting to trade. And AVAX is definitely one of them. Grape says, Bitwise just released the Bitcoin ETF commercial. Okay, that will be very, very interesting. Let's see if we can confirm that in a second here. So, beautiful. Now let's go to Solana. Okay, Solana absolutely outperforming most of these other cryptocurrencies right here. Okay, Solana have been doing extremely good job right now at this particular moment. So, what is Solana doing? Very similar. Okay, Solana took out this range right here. We had this beautiful range where we consolidated. We expanded out of that range. We created a massive expansion. That was kind of phase one. Now we came back down, came back to that range. We retested it. We closed that gap. We filled up that wick. We expanded again. Okay, now this expansion was once again a higher high. Perfect. So now what we done is we came down again from that high towards that low. This is roughly around 10%. We came down all the way around 15%, okay, towards the low that created a higher high. So it's simple market structure. Now we're looking at a higher low. Is this a higher low confirmation? That could be interesting. Well, maybe it is, because if you look at this particular low, we come up towards the highs. We start targeting these particular levels here. And you would have the exact same level to look at, which is the 70.579%. An expansion to the upside. And now potentially a continuation further back to the upside right here, which could lead in towards a new particular move, a new expansion, which we're gonna call phase 3, back towards the upside, preferably even higher. Okay, so that's something that I'm very interested in right now. Based upon all that data here, it seems that we're holding very, very strong here. Now, what's the word and what's the reason for us to go long here? Well, number one, I assume that you use and apply good risk management. Okay, so the worry will not be that you lose your whole account, because you only risk a certain amount per trade. You're not over leveraging. You're not taking the unnecessary risk. You understand that you cannot win every trade, even if you are a credible trader. So it's willing. The only question you should ask yourself right now is, am I willing at this particular moment to take certain risks to potentially take advantage of a new run? And in this case, I would say personally, I am definitely willing to take that necessary risk. Now, what would invalidate that bias here? Okay? Because at some point when we enter longs, I'm always looking at, okay, yes, I am willing, but what are the certain levels that would invalidate my bias? What would cause me to actually not particularly go long anymore? What would cause me to stay out of the market, accept my loss, and then particularly just wait for price to be, more beneficial, wait for price to turn around, or maybe even to look for short opportunities. Well, in that case right here, I would still decide and wait for a lower low on this particular level, okay? I would wait for this particular low to be taken out. If this low is taken out here, I'm no longer interested in particularly looking for any long setups right now on altcoins, or whatever the case may be in the recent wise, because if Bitcoin creates a lower low, then what needs to happen first is that Bitcoin creates a higher high before we can start looking at a higher low. So we can start looking at new particular setups in the market right here, okay? Super simple, but super crucial, all right? So far, we have created that higher high. All right. So that higher high right now is king. And therefore, it's time to deploy some of our setups right now in the market right there. So where AVAX is super nice and where Solana is super nice, there are probably a couple other ones that are outperforming, you know, the market here. And the way to do that is by also looking at this chart right here, okay? Or this watch list. Sorry, I could better say this watch list. And one of them right now is standing out here, okay? Where everything is green, there is one where everything is red, there is one green. And that is Chainlink, okay? Chainlink at this particular moment apparently is creating a little bit more of a bigger dominance right now. Now let's see where Chainlink was coming from. Are there any opportunities for Chainlink right here? Let me see what we have. Let's go to 2 hour. Expansion, retracement, higher high, lower low, lower high, lower low. Not yet for Chainlink, by the way. Okay, I think that we have to wait for Chainlink to push the price down a little bit more. To the 4 hour, let's see what we have here. Yeah, I want to see it coming back down towards the 13.4 for Chainlink. Okay, let's go. So let's do a couple of charts, guys, here right now. Let me know in the chat what you guys want to see. Let me look at the chat as well. What we have in the building here, who's active here. Make sure that if you're new right now, you smash up that like button, okay? I know that there are 59 people watching, 44 likes. We are a new, fresh channel. We have a massive community already behind us, backing us up here. We are going to blow up this this crypto channel right here. We're going to come with fire on a day-to-day basis. We're going to come with setups. So if you want to help us out here, you want to help this channel grow, then your like right now is absolutely extremely appreciated, because that's how it works. Especially when starting and running a new channel here, okay? Now, Billy Joe says, looks like our bunk came down. Remember a short opportunity from the crypto bubbles on Friday. So whenever, and this is important to mention, the moment, and this is factual, okay? I can back it up. The moment any particular big meme coin with extremely like a tremendous amount of hype get listed on the Binance exchange, that's the moment we have to be starting careful. That's where people usually indicate that this is the top. This is now something that people know. That the moment you know, each particular meme coin gets listed on Binance, we're topping out. This is where sellers are coming into play here, and all of that stuff. Okay, so be careful, because every single time we saw a listing from Dogecoin to Shiba to Pepe to Bunk, the moment it got listed on Binance, we saw a major correction here. All right, now let's see what we have here. Grape says, could you take a look at projects like AIX, Cray, and Rio? Let's do that. Let's make that happen. Let's do that. Let's do that. AIX first. AIX. Let's see what we have here. AIX crypto. What is this? Okay. Okay. First thing I see is range, accumulation, expansion, range, accumulation, holding out support, turning resistance to support. Yeah, I mean, I have not much to say here. There's not much information. What I can say though is that we are holding above a key level, which is the 18.37, the 18 cents, okay? You want to stay above the 18 cents, because if you don't, and you close the daily candle below it, you might be pushing back down all the way to 14 cents, and it doesn't seem like much, but that's another 20%. And if you don't hold that, you might be coming down all the way to 7 cents. So 18 cents is a key level. You want to stay above it. Okay, next one. Cray. Criso, what's that? Criso, Cray, Bitget, spot. There we go. Not much happening here, bro, to be honest. Interesting level right now to look at is the 2665, so the 2.7 cents. The reason why is because this is that low that created that strong expansion. We have now that the liquidity below, but we have never taken out that liquidity. So I think that this could be an expansion down, followed by a move to the upside, which could be interesting here. But I do not see that much historical data. I cannot help you for a very long period of time. But your key level is at 2.7 cents, okay? 2.7 cents. Now, last one, Rio, or Rio. Maxi. Do we have some more information here from Rio? Okay, yeah, looking a little bit better. We talked about this one previously as well here. Key level was at 4.42 cents here. We expanded strong to the upside. This was that last expansion towards the lows. We came back to the 50. We tried to hold on towards the 50 for a long period of time. We couldn't. So now our next level is at 52.48 cents here, okay? 52.48 cents. We might be pushing down towards that low here, creating a new level of support. You want to see a reaction from that level. But if you don't, we might be coming down to fill up that gap, coming down to the golden pocket, which is going to be between 45 and between 48 cents. From there, you really want to see upwards momentum here. Because if you don't, it's not a good sign. It's not a good sign, okay? That's the expansion that you want to see, because then you have been building enough to create to the upside here. So lowest point that you want to see Relio go to, or when you want to accumulate Relio, is at 42.57. I think that's the sweet spot for this particular cryptocurrency. But again, they're not looking particularly strong at the moment. You can see clearly that the AVAX, the Solanas, the bigger caps right now are outperforming the smaller caps at the moment. Okay, do take that in consideration. Now let's see what you guys want to see. Throw me some charts here. Frank says, you guys are missing out if not in the Limitless Crypto VIP. So much knowledge and top-notch crypto traders. Thank you so much, my man. It's an absolute pleasure. It's enjoyable to see you guys winning, making money. You know what to do if you want to join. If you don't know what to do, then click on the link here in the chat. Sign up with one of our Bitget exchange links. Become an affiliate of the Limitless Trading Academy. Use your deposit bonus wisely, because with that deposit bonus, you can get access to more capital and therefore automatically to Tim's free signals, which means, yeah, free money. Free money right there. Now, what do we have in the chat? See what we have here. Crow. The crypto noob says Crow. CRO. Are we still alive? Let's see. We're talking crypto.com or we're talking Kronos here? Let me know. Crypto.com is broke out. It's not looking strong. Not looking strong. Okay. Reason why is because you see that rejection here. This high created this low. You're now retesting. You create like a double top formation here. You're now compressing, but this could easily break down. Okay. If it's Kronos, let's have a look at Kronos. Aha, okay. We have a look at Kronos here. Breakout. Very similar. Very similar. Not looking strong. So we have that compression. This smells like a breakout. I think that we're going to come down to the 8.31 cents. So if you go to the 8 cents here, then there is just, it smells like more downside potential. The structure is just setting up for, you know, more of an, yeah, liquidation event here. Back towards the previous highs, you could say. Which is right at the 8.7. Right here. Okay. This is definitely looking on the weaker side here, okay? By the way, quick question here. If you're new to the channel, to this channel, okay, press a 1 in the chat. I want to see the amount of new people here looking us here. That would be absolutely amazing. I'm here for you right now to do a full-on breakdown and analysis here, and I'm also willing to come and take an AVAX trade live if we pull back towards the 38.278. So we might be here for a while. If we pull back, we might be taking a long setup right there live, 38.278 for AVAX. That would be absolutely amazing. Okay, let's see. Black Broccoli says, please check out Ator or Ator. It's been through a lot, still decent projects. Would love to see you TA on it. Okay. Ator. Maxi or Qcoin? Let's use Maxi in this case. Okay. Shout out to Maxi. Okay. Yeah, it has been absolutely, man, that's a major crash, bro. That's not a good sign here. That's a major crash. I don't know what happened here. This has to be some sort of fundamental event, something that took place here, which was probably not good for the project. 76% drop in a day. So that's not good, okay? However, usually that could also lead into amazing opportunities if you still believe in the project and if you think that there is something wrong here. So we have this upwards momentum still, okay? We took out the lows here. We're now at the lows that, let's say the lowest point after that sell-off, that aggressive sell-off right here. It is interesting. It is interesting. And it's definitely interesting to look at these levels right here because the 65 cents is still the low where you could say that this is where the recovery started and took place. Now we're coming down, but we have not tapped into that low yet. That's a good sign. That's a good sign. This smells like recovery, okay? If you look here, we have been building up very structured. So we're trying to push price further down, but you see that there is an over-exhaustion towards downside potential here, okay? At this particular moment, I think that that expansion here was actually really healthy for Ethereum. So where people are like now scared to enter, this is where you should be entering, okay? So this could provide you potentially with the right opportunity. The fundamentals of this project matter, obviously, but at the same time, when the market is pumping, practically everything goes up, especially if there are, the right setups here. So in this case, your best entry would be guaranteed at 65 cents, okay? If you can get an entry at 65 cents, your risk to reward is so much bigger and so much more in your favor than not, especially after an 80% drop. But no financial advice, stays crypto, okay? But I do think that if you look for opportunities, that's the opportunity to look at. 65 cents right here. That could be the short-term bottoming, okay? Right here that you can see here. If you want to confirm this, you have this range. You also have that level here. And that aligns fantastically with the volume profile, right? And the volume profile shows you where the most volume has been traded in a range. Volume can also equal support. It can also equal extra, resistance right here. So do all of that or take all of that in consideration. And based upon that, you might be having an amazing entry, my friend. Aston Mill says VeChain and DOT. Well, I like what VeChain is doing, okay? VeChain, proud sponsors of the UFC. Shout out to VeChain, okay? Doing well, doing good. VeChain is waking up, okay? VeChain was sleeping a little bit. But right now, you see that VeChain is coming along and starting to look a little bit better. So what I really like to see here is that this was the last low that took out the highs. We compressed from these highs. We then built that liquidity below. We manipulated these lows. So we liquidated people that went long here. Stop losses were here. We took out these stop losses. And now we're trying to break out. What we need to see is the following. We need to see a break out of this high of 3 cents. And if we then pull back, we might be having the best long opportunities for you to look for further continuation up, back towards the 3.2 cents. If you can get an entry towards the 3.2 cents, you might get yourself into a 15% move to the upside. This is usually how recoveries start, okay? They swipe majority of liquidity, they then break a high, they then pull back, and there your pullback, your higher low is your entry and provides you with the best opportunities. So where I think that your best opportunity will come into play is after you've broken it high, I think that's where, at this particular moment, you will find your best opportunities here. Okay. Dre says, it's a great project though. The VeChain founder is a G. Well, that's great to hear. If you're the sponsor of the UFC, then you are a G. You have to be a G. Okay. Astamil says also check out DOT. Yeah, let's see how the Polkadot compared to the. Let's look at the market cap Polkadot first. Market cap Polkadot is coming down $8.29 billion. Okay, that's good to know. DOT itself is not looking that particularly strong, if I'm correct. But again, that's the market cap. Now let's have a look at the price. This is not as strong as AVAX, or not as strong as VeChain, as you can see right here at this particular moment, right? So what I would do here is I would stay out of DOT at this particular moment. That's what I would do right now. I think there is more downside potential for Polkadot right here, and the reason why that's potentially the case is because we saw this high right here. We came out lower. We tapped to the high. We saw rejection there. And so far we have been only creating lower lows and lower highs, lower lows and lower highs and lower lows. Now we have a lower high at the daily time frame, where the 4 hour is looking very, very weak as well. So we have some support here at 6.29, 6.529. But at the same time, this is not where you want to long from in regards to Polkadot right now. The most interesting levels to look at is this range. Okay, that means that you actually retest a solid breakout. Okay, so you have that consolidation here. You then break out. You then pull back. You then come back towards that range. Yeah, that's an interesting level to look for further continuation right here. Okay, so something like this would be nice. Pulling back this particular range, which starts at like 5.743. Okay, anything here is just too weak, and I don't think we're gonna get there anytime soon. And I think it's gonna be slow, unless the market suddenly blows up and we break highs and we're creating higher lows. But that's not the case here. Much better opportunities elsewhere than Polkadot or the other ones we just discussed here, except AVAX, except Solana. I think Solana and AVAX are looking very, very nice. Let's see what else we have. Let me look at the crypto chat as well here. The VIP chat here. Let's see what we have here. Okay. Smurfcat or XCD? Smurfcat. Well, let's have a look at Smurfcat real quick, so we know what we're talking about here. Let's see how big Smurfcat actually is, because that might be interesting here. Smurfcat, Solana chain, probably a minor cap, correct? Is it this one? Yeah. Yeah, this is, bro, I cannot work with this, bro. Wait, maybe. Maybe we have something here. Range, expansion. Breakdown. Expansion. Retest, kind of like that second confirmation. 4 hour chart, let's go there. Back towards the lows. Holding support here. really nicely actually at yeah, I mean, I don't know enough about this project, to be honest. This is not that fantastic. I would not look for longs here. I would not look for like, unless you're an investor or whatever, I would not be interested right now until we make actually some progression. Okay, and what do I mean with progression here? I want to see at least some sort of expansion, some pullback, some expansion. Then maybe in the second pullback, I am interested in looking for a setup towards the upside here. Okay, something like that. Anything around here, maybe this one, but you know, give us some momentum before we continue here. The reason why is you don't want to be stuck in your position when nothing is happening for such a long period of time for no reason. We just talked about that. Smurf Cat is Smurf Cat. Smurf Cat is one of them. XCD, okay, XCD. Let's see what we have here, man. Okay, all of these small ones. Let's go look a little at some bigger ones here. Let's look at Ethereum. Okay, what is Ethereum doing right now? Let's see. Ethereum is now back at crucial support. So this is interesting for Ethereum, okay? Back at the 2,125. So super strong level. You're probably gonna hold some support here, okay? Look at the daily high. Look at that rejection. Look at that daily high. Now back at that level here. This is interesting, okay? So the daily is holding now at strong support. Nice retest, okay? The 4 hour. What is the 4 hour telling us? Well, number one, we have this range. We expanded out of a range. We pulled back. We're coming particularly back into that range. And I think that, you know, key levels to look at right now is the following. You don't want to enter a long position. You don't want to enter a long. The reason for it is because we have only created a lower low. So where AVAX created a higher high, you know, where AVAX started to really pop to the upside, and Solana as well, Ethereum is not showing us, you know, anything that particularly strong yet. So for Ethereum, I would love to see a little bit more of an aggressive move towards the upside. Show us that you actually want to break out. Show us the potential here. Show us that you want to break this high. And if you then break this high, we look for higher lows, and then we're going to look at long setups, right? Something like that. Cosmos says FTM, Phantom, good old Phantom and the whole ecosystem. Let's see how Phantom has been performing right now. Wow. Wow. Good job, bro. Well done. That's what you want to look for. That's what you want to look for. That's beautiful. So we saw a very nice and clean zone. A very nice reaction here. Okay. We created a range. We then expanded to liquidate lows. We recovered from it. We created like a nice W formation. So this was 1, 2, then the highs. Now it seems that we're pulling back down towards the lows. Now we're breaking structures to the upside. Now this is the moment. This is a good sign, bro. Congratulations, you found a beautiful expansion here. Okay, so Cosmos, my man, really clean. Let's draw the swing low to swing high. 70.579 or the 62%. Anything below the 50. And there we go. Okay. I would take this trade any day of the week. Right there. Beautiful. That's fantastic, man. Phantom looking really solid too. So I like the way we have been building up. I like the expansion. I like the way we came down towards this low. I like the way we expanded to the upside to take out the highs. And now we're creating on the higher time frame, let's say, a higher low, a higher high, higher low, internal high. This is how it starts. And then we might be creating a new, you know, higher low for us to potentially create a new higher high. So, you know, Phantom is looking really good. I'm going to take this one. And I'm gonna set my alert. I'm gonna set an alert here. Thank you for sharing. That's actually very clean. Really nice. What else do we have? Gabe says, do you ever look at the higher time frames like the monthly, weekly, and continue towards the lower time frame to stack zones? Absolutely. Absolutely. I think higher time frame is absolutely key to move forward here. For example, okay, I know in this case that AVAX right now created a strong expansion here. Sometimes even on the weekly, you know, we have been creating a massive expansion. But we also see, for example, out of this break, a really clean retest back towards the downside here. So for example, where we had this particular high that we had to break right now, this next weekly candle came down and it flipped bullish and it closed very, very strong here. Now, if you look at this weekly candle, then you see that you came down and you get bought up tremendously here. What can happen is that we would see something similar as previous weekly candle. So for example, you come down, you create a strong bottom wick, you start then flipping the highs. So a key level would automatically be the 40.625, okay? So if you then take that information to the lower time frame, then this is gonna be a key level. If you start breaking above that, you might be looking at continuation to the upside here. And the reason why is because you see the weekly candle flipping bullish. So that's why it's sometimes important to look at weekly structures as well as candle structures to kind of understand where we're at. And yeah, definitely interesting to look at. But what if you can get it into position earlier? If the market gave us these signals right here. For example, if the Tether dominance comes up and Bitcoin, you know, is holding here or is holding above at least this low, then we might be looking at an earlier trade already, and therefore looking at a higher low, therefore looking at an already being in a bigger position before we start flipping bullish. And we could then definitely see this as a take profit point. 40.594. Amazing. How long have I been live here? An hour. Okay. Let's see how long we, you know, we can do a couple more charts here, guys. As always, let's scroll through them. Couple of long setups that I'm interested in. Phantom, number one. I'm gonna share this in the VIP chat in our Discord right here. This setup, AVAX potentially. Okay, we still want to have that confirmation from the Tether dominance. Phantom is looking by far. Phantom and AVAX are looking by far the best here. Really clean. Okay. Absolutely incredible. Okay. Another one I'm personally interested in to see how it's performing is Cardano, because Cardano was looking very good. Okay, now it's starting to slow down a little bit here. So Cardano broke out of this massive expansion. So number one, this low right here was a key component. This is where we now came to. We have been still holding above this low. So even on the 30-minute, if you go and zoom out here, Cardano is still looking at this low. Now, what needs to happen here, in my opinion, is the following for Cardano. I think that this was the low that caused a massive expansion. I think there is too much liquidity still below this level. And I think there are too many stop losses built below the 0.54%. So the let's say the 54% here. Okay, for Cardano. So what I want to see is actually coming lower than the 54 cents to then come down towards a level that's just below it. So for example, if you then look at the previous low, I want to see this low getting taken out. And the first low that I'm seeing is this candle structure right here before an expansion. And I think there is a chance that we might be bouncing from this one rather than this one right here. So that means that we would take out the loss. We would then liquidate some people that were long, that didn't take profits, as of how it usually goes. And if you then come down, we look at particularly a scenario where we can expand, then look for a higher low, and then you have your entries to the upside Then you can put your stop loss below at 52 cents. And you can target the next leg up towards, who knows. Even the highs here, but most importantly, at least equilibrium of that range, which is 59 cents. So I think that Cardano is looking very good. I think that you will have a lot more opportunity if you come down slightly more for Cardano. Okay. Marton says maybe Rollbit, okay? LRB. Rollbit has been one of the hottest narratives out there. We're talking about gambling. Gambling right now is a really hot narrative at this particular moment. Okay. I think we have it in a watch list right here. I don't know why it's not showing us. That's a little bit strange. Let's see what we have. Okay, yeah. Daily time frame, done. Okay, what we're seeing here is this trend. Very simple. This time, very straightforward. This was like the last low. This was the high. 79% came into that range. It looks dangerous. It looks a little bit. It looks a little bit dangerous here. I would not be. Would I be accumulating Rollbit here if I would be an investor? Let me see. Well, this was the low that created a massive expansion. So maybe, but I think what could happen is that you would still break down here, come back towards lows, and then continue up here. But we could easily be holding here because we have seen that expansion, bro, towards the upside. Lower low, higher high, and then a higher low. And then a particular move back up here. So it's still possible. I would be DCAing and being cautious here. And I put all my money in one basket for Rollbit. In this case. Yeah. Okay. So because we're a new channel, I have to ask a couple more times here to smash up that like button. It really helps. We have around, 60 likes right now at the moment here. We have 52 people watching, so I really appreciate that. Make sure that if you haven't liked yet, that you smash up that like button. And if you're new, you subscribe, because we're going to go live on a day-to-day basis here. And especially during the Christmas seasons, we will be still here live, where our main channel, where we trade Forex and analyze the Forex pairs, will be on a little pause here because of the holiday season. So enough more momentum here in crypto land. Right, that's the beautiful thing about crypto. It's usually a 24/7 market here. Okay, now let's do 2 more, and I think that's a nice breakdown for today here. Keep a close eye on the setup. Long, I'm gonna enter at 39.27 for Phantom, and I'm gonna put my stop loss. Depending on the upside potential here. I think I'm just going to put it at 38.448, 38.5, something like that here. And that's what I'm going to do. Matic on the daily, Cowboy. Okay, let's see what Cowboy is sharing here. Matic on the daily. Yeah, let's look at Matic indeed. Okay, fantastic. Let's look at Matic. Matic, okay. Let's see what we have for Matic. Cowboy is ooh, okay, there we go. Ay, ay, ay. Ay, 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 ay. Okay. Break. Rejection. Low. Lower low. 4 hour. This doesn't look that good, to be honest, right now at the moment for Matic here. No, this is not looking that good for Matic here. Okay, we've also been breaking down. We have been rejected here, which is fine, but then this lower high I don't not really like. So looking for longs here doesn't give me the best confidence at the moment. So I think that there is actually more downside potential, unless I get proven otherwise by going to the 1 hour chart and looking for a really nice expansion up and then look for a pullback. But I don't see that happening at this particular moment. So I'm not a big fan of looking for longs here for now. For Matic here. Now I think that we can actually come down lower. Let's see what this low and this high gives us for information. Well, we have this. Let's say this is the low, this is the high. Of course, the 50% is a crucial zone. But the 6618 is much more interesting, which is around 69 cents. Yeah, really nice. Wasim, what do you think about Rose? Millie's World says ENJ. Okay, ENJ, Rose, and ASTR. Let's do that as lost. ENJ. So ENJ is actually is looking extremely strong here. Okay, I'm actually very surprised to see how strong it's actually holding. Very important. Now I know they have been working on a new project. We're talking about Injective right here. Okay, so that's important to mention here. We had a major breakout. All right. At around 22.396. We have never even retested that breakout here. Usually what tends to happen is that you come back down at least once to come and retest that breakout, especially if it's such a strong high, turning previous resistance into support. We have actually not even done that right here. We're looking at a big, relatively big market cap of 2.7 billion as well. So we're talking big numbers here. And, you know, they have done already over 350 million transactions in a very short period of time. They're one of the fastest change, you could say, out there. So overall, they have been performing extremely well, and they're apparently outperforming most other, other charts right here. So what do we see now? Is that the daily support was now built at the 29.54. Okay, we have seen there multiple daily candle closures above. That's how we establish new areas of support. At this particular moment, the key component is 1, 2, 3, 4 candle closures above that level. So somewhat around the 29.54 could be a new level to look at. Now, let's use that level wisely. And let's see how that, was useful. Well, you see it already, right? You came down here, you had this nice area of the month. You expanded up, and the moment it came back, it shoot up, and now we practically came up with around 12% from here. What needs to happen now, in my opinion, is the following. To have much more safer, bet here for new long opportunities. We need to break either above the 33.7. So let's say we break above the 33.7. We close a daily candle above it. We could see the same thing as we saw here, where we could lead into continuation. The other thing could be a pullback one more time towards, the range right here, because we have now some more information. Let's draw the fixtures from profile. Yeah, there we go. Towards the 30.8. Okay, the point of control, most volume has been traded. So if you come down here, you break out of that range and you come back down, then this is relatively safe bet. This is where I would, place a long position, or this is where I would buy in order to gain that quick momentum here for ENJ. Now, what are the targets then? Because yeah, we can have an entry, but what about our targets here? Let's zoom out a little bit more to look at specific targets. Now, It's very hard to look at, you know, you could say to look at targets, right? Especially when you create all-time highs, and especially when you're in price discovery, okay? So there are a couple ways to look at it. Number one is to just simply look at the traditional Fibonacci levels, okay? The way to look at it right here is to just implement these traditional Fibonacci. So number one, this is what people tend to do here. They look for high, sorry, to low. So you go to the low and you go to that, let's say, next expansion right here. Okay, and this is usually what people tend to do when they look at these lows here, and then they tend to look at these short-term price actions, and you want to always look at the last strong impulsive move. So this is where we saw that low and that accumulation here, and then it expands to the upside. So, you know, this is where the 13 point or the 14 was kind of that low that we created, so that's what you want to use. And then what tends to happen is the following, that the key levels are then around, you could say, the $48 here. So you have then that high at 34.7, that's number one. And then you have the 1.618, which is then the 47.755. This is the only time I use the traditional Fibonacci. And the reason is because people are using it. It works. People are using this as a tool of reference for when you're in price discovery. Okay, so that's where this might be interesting. This low is interesting. You can see already that we saw a level around here. Makes sense. We saw the level around here, which was the 786. Made sense. So we already have proof that the 382, 786 are accurate right now. So if you start breaking, the 1.618 could be a nice target, and that could lead into a serious continuation of around 35%. So this could be a very good opportunity for you to go long over. So first stop will be 47.755. If we manage to close, in my opinion, a nice daily candle, preferably maybe even a weekly candle above the $34 here. That's ENJ right here. Overall, really nice. What I'm going to do, actually, I'm going to keep it open here. And I'm going to see how that moves here. Okay. There we go. Thank you very much, bro. Next up, ASTR and then Rose. Okay, ASTR, perpetual, weekly. All right, there we go. Okay, so this is the reason why you sometimes want to wait for closures. Okay, look at this, for example. You had a massive expansion. You look bullish. Everyone gets in. Everyone gets excited. You strongly move up towards the upside here. You start making a move of around 80%. Then the market starts coming down. The closure is where the magic happens here. So number one, you have this high right here. Okay, that was the key level to break for ASTR here at 10 cents. All right, we came above. Fantastic. That closure though would have been an ultimate confirmation for a retest for further continuation to the upside. Now it seems that, you know, we could potentially come down here. The good part though is that this is a new candle and that we still have enough time to close above here. If you do close above here, you might see much more upside potential for ASTR if you close this weekly candle above. So that's one layer to look at it. Okay. So yeah, what happened was we saw some news coming. We made an aggressive move of 80%. People are taking profits. You now see it coming back down here towards, and I need to see, right there. We're now back at the 618. So this might be an opportunity for you to start looking at a setup here. Okay, the 618 Fibonacci, very clean. What you then want to see is a higher high and a higher low. And that higher high is your trade. If you are a trader right here, then that's what you want to look for. Either a reaction towards the downside or a pullback all the way back down to the 70.579%, which is going to be lower, but a higher chance of success because then you have a little bit more probability in your favor right here. Is this my favorite setup? I don't think so. I would not look at it right now. 2 key levels, but I would definitely wait for some more momentum here. A nice level to buy ASTR spot would be definitely at the 9 cents. Very, very clean. Okay, last one. The crypto noob says Rune. Let's have a look at Rune. Let's look at Rune. Let's look at how Rune has been coming down. Because we saw and we knew that rejection was there. We talked about this before. Now we're at support here. Okay, major daily support or weekly support, you could say. Weekly support is at 5.3. This is a weekly level. We're trying to hold on towards this weekly level. Now, there's nothing more fun than trading weekly levels. Okay? So, for example, you have this particular low. You have this particular high. You have this weekly level. You see the expansion. You swipe the highs. Now, this could mean an entry right here at this particular level. So what I'm interested in is maybe looking for a long setup. Somewhat at the 5.213. Stop loss below. Because you have a weekly level there that can hold support. And then target the lows of that range where we expanded from. So that's right here. This could be a nice 4-to-1. Just because of that weekly support, which is like a highly confidential zone. You don't see these trade opportunities, a lot. So therefore, when you have a weekly level coming and aligning with an area of the month, aligning with, what you're currently looking for with a clear target, you kind of have a nice setup for yourself here trading Rune. But if you trade perpetual here, you can definitely benefit from a nice 4-to-1 here. Really clean, solid trade opportunity to the upside here. Actually, really like it. Okay. What seems as you forgot Rose? Oh, did I, my man? Okay, sorry. Let's look at Rose. So many charts, so many setups, so many opportunities. Rune, definitely gonna trade. Phantom, definitely gonna trade. Avex, most likely. Rose. This is the high. Major resistance is there. We failed to break above. This is the weekly resistance. We're below weekly resistance. That's not a good sign. On the 8-hour here, we have been building up tremendous amount of sell side liquidity here. We are holding above here. We have this high, we have this low, but we are below weekly resistance. And we have that liquidity below. So is it then worth it for me to look for a long setup, or is it better for me to wait for a new higher high, to then look for a higher low, to then turn that weekly resistance into support, to then look for a long? I think that's what I'm looking for. This is too dangerous, okay? So we have that weekly resistance right here. We are still below weekly resistance. We have that liquidity built up below. You want to be above weekly resistance. You want to turn the weekly resistance into support. Then looking for a higher low. Then looking for a higher high. That higher low is then in your favor, okay? Okay, guys, I think I'm going to wrap it up here. We have been streaming for a nice little hour and 20 minutes here. Our second stream of the day, the first stream on this channel. I'm going to be back tomorrow regardless. We're going to see how Bitcoin evolves here. So far, just to have a little recap, we are holding so far above this particular range right here, okay? So far, the first initial reaction for Bitcoin is positive. We're seeing this range. We're seeing that expansion to the upside right here. We're seeing that move for pullback and retracement. The tether dominance created that lower low. Now already is getting rejected. This is not looking good for the tether dominance. This is going to be good for some nice long setups. So the best setups that we've seen right here today, in my opinion, were Rune. Rune was very, very clean. We just talked about Rune here. Just because we're at weekly support. Okay, if we pull back towards this zone, we might have a very nice clean opportunity right here at 5.232, stop loss at 5.121. We have Phantom looking very, very nice. We have support at 4.27, so that could be one entry. Stop loss needs to be below at 38.46, targeting the highs, or pushing back further down towards the 39 and look for a long from there. So Phantom looking very, very good. And then the last one I found very, very nice, very interesting today was AVAX. AVAX, super clean. Okay, anything regards to this particular zone. This break is super key. If we break and we pull back, looking for further continuation to the upside right here. Okay, one more time, if you're new, make sure you join us on the right. You make sure you join our Discord. We are growing our private crypto community tremendously right now. It goes in a very rapid pace here. A lot of people are asking for it. If you are new right now, make sure that you tune in, become an affiliate of us, sign up with the link in description. Click on the link right here. Okay, sign up, get your deposit bonus of $8,000. Do it. Then use that money that you have deposited for dim signals that you can find in our crypto group, because this is how we grant you access right here. And then you will be winning live with us right here on a day-to-day basis. Yeah, over and over and over again with as much proof as possible, because we track everything. We're not a bullshit community here where everything happens randomly, where people talk about signals. No, we track and trace and we win. Okay, so very important. Make sure you tune in. Any setups given in there are taken live as well. Sometimes we're going to post some more setups also from these live streams right now in there as well. A tremendous amount of opportunity for you to join. And also, if you like what we do, also make sure that you place a comment here. If you're still watching right now and you like what we do and you want me to come back on a day-to-day basis, what would help us tremendously is that you like, but also place a comment under this video when I'm going to close down the stream, just because you will help me out tremendously here with getting into the algorithm. A new channel is always, we always need that community kickoff power. We start strong and, to see where we can take this, okay? So a comment will be highly appreciated. A like will be highly appreciated. And a notification bell will be highly appreciated. And then I'm going to see you tomorrow once again. And we're going to have some fun. We're going to enjoy the ride, okay? And as always, guys, be careful. Be careful. But the risk is right now in our favor, okay? Make it happen. Do what you can do. Do what you're good at. And I'm going to see you once again tomorrow. New setups, new trades. Let's see what we can do. Bye-bye.